Hello everyone, it's Mary. We're jumping right into our next hacks, craft dupes, money savings, all the fun video in just a second. But before we do that, I want to remind you, you do not have to take notes here. You can just go in the description box below, download this hacks and alternative supplies list. It's an Excel Google sheet, and you can have all that goodness right then and there. I will tell you to please download it. I'm showing you how to do this. Download it to your device instead of asking for me to share it so you can edit it. This way you'll have it and you can do whatever you want with it. But if you do want to just keep seeing this updated version, just save the link for future reference, okay? Because it'll always access all the updates I make. I have an alternative supplies tab and I have a hacks tab. So please note that there are two tabs on there. The hacks tab goes into much more detail about how I did it. And at the very top of that, you can find my hacks playlist over on YouTube. So I tried to keep it all in one place for you so you can access it with ease. Right? We're trying to make things easy over here. That's a hack in and of itself. All right, let's get into this video. I'm jumping out the gate with a dupe for a very popular craft item product, and it is the sticky mat. Okay, this one is from a store over on Amazon, and it is a fraction of the price. And if you just need something small to stencil on, something to hold inside your Stampin' platform, to hold your paper down, this thing is great. Now, a couple things. One, it's thinner than the average crafty one you're going to get from the stores. So the ones that you can find from the store is more thicker, almost like a stamp, photopolymer stamp. This one is thinner and more like flimsy. I'd say flimsy, but just thinner. Okay. But the stick on this is top tier. And it's so top tier, it doesn't rip your paper and it holds everything in place. Nothing's moving. Okay. I'm showing you right here. I purposefully am not putting my left hand anywhere near it so you can see just how sturdy this stick is. So I use it for one of its intended purposes, which is to hold down paper and stencils. And I truly had to hold it down with zero tape. Like, it really does stick well. And again, it doesn't rip. What I would recommend though is flip it over. And then because it's kind of more flexible, just kind of take it from the back, like hold the paper straight down and then peel it back away. And then this way you won't warp your paper. So that is the intended purpose there. Now I'm going to show you also that you can put it in your Stampin' platform. You can cut it down. I do think they make it one size bigger, like 9 inches by 9 inches. This is 7 by 7. But what I love about it too is it's thin enough where you can put it at the base of your Stampin' platform and use it for rubber stamps. So it's not too thick where you're not going to be able to put your rubber stamps in there. And those of you that do that know what I'm talking about, that you have to remove the mat for rubber stamps, but you can still use this. It's really thin. So that was really great. It's easy to clean too, but as of filming this, the cost for a 7-inch by 7-inch sticky mat is $9.99. All right. So I feel like that's a lot of savings compared to some of the other ones out there. Now, this one is not a craft dupe, and not necessarily a money savings, even though I only picked this up when it was $6.99 and it's on super sale. But it's to think about your storage items in different ways. So all I did for this storage thing was I stood it upright. Instead of laying it down on its side, as the picture showed you, I just put it upright, and look at how much stuff this thing fits. So if you have something already in your craft room and you can repurpose it, maybe you can't find its traditional use for it, look at it differently and see if you can use it alternatively, because I love this thing. It actually keeps them not all bunched together in like one round circle of a storage item, but it separates it out so I can see things a whole lot clearer. All right, let's talk about this tool here that you might have seen on the market, and that's to help us press down our stamping over our Stampin' positioners. I'm going to show you something you might have in your house today that you can make one yourself. So if you have a lid that's the shape you like, I like this round one. This is a wooden bamboo lid from a candle that I love, but I'm not going to use the lid for the candle anymore. So what I'm going to do is determine, do I want to hold it like this, or do I want to flip it around and hold it on the big side? I'm choosing to hold it on the small side. I feel like this way right here is much more ergonomically friendly. So I'm going to know that I'm going to put my felt on the bottom there. So the next thing that I want to do is I just want to trace out the circle onto my fiber here. This is my microfiber cloth from Dollar Tree. Okay. And I'm going to cut that out. Now, does anyone else mark their fabric scissors in their home? They say no. They say no, don't touch them. I hide them too, by the way. So I have my fabric scissors and I'm just going to cut out the circle. Now, I will tell you, this is not the prettiest of hacks. It's not like we're not entering any kind of beauty contests with this thing. All right. So enter into this with that expectation in mind. But I am going to just cut it out the best I can. Could I have run this through my die cutting machine and die cut it with a circle? Maybe. Probably could. That's a good idea. But I didn't. Now I'm going to take some hot glue and I'm going to add it to the bamboo here. And then I'm going to put down my felt and I'm going to take something else that's round or large, whatever you have, and press it down. Okay. This way I don't burn my fingers. Once I get that done, it's done. That's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm not going to pretty it up. I probably could have cut around the sides or whatever. I don't care. If fuzz comes off, and that's just part of the project. But now I'm going to show you it does work. It absolutely does. If you use a thicker piece of felt, that might be better, or maybe a couple layers of felt. That's a good idea. I also kept that rubber around the side to kind of cushion my fingers too, around the circle on the top. Now I'm going to just demonstrate, even though you probably do not need this part of the video. I'm just going to demonstrate that this actually does work. All right. This is not scientific. This is not my lab today. We're just going to play with it. So I'm going to stamp up ink up my stamp here. And I am going to close the lid. I'm going to grab my brand new tool and I'm going to press down. And then I'm going to show you that it does indeed stamp. All right. I'm laughing because is this tool necessary? I don't know. I think that's up for debate out there. It might be. I use mine a lot. I have a couple versions and it's fantastic. But anyway, there you go. You can save money. You know how much that cost me? $0. So I'm happy with it. All right, let's move on to a potential money saver. I saw this at the Dollar Tree. I thought this was really cool. I like that it has, I think this is made for makeup brushes or some kind of toiletry items. You can put toothbrushes in there and keep them separate, which I think is kind of cool. The top comes off, which is cool too, because if you don't want the circles, you can just have some storage. You can 𝗥𝗘𝗖𝗢𝗥𝗚 glue them together and make a bunch of different drawers. So that's a good idea too. But I was like, hey, I can probably use this for my craft room and just keep some of those most used products right off the side here. So I have some brushes fit, you know me, and turning upside down my Popsicolor. I love that because I've been noticing the ones I use the most, they have to sit upside down anyway. So it's good to have a little home for them. Let's go to probably one of my favorite hacks for saving money and adding some embellishment to your cards. And that is using glitter nail polish. I picked up this pink glitter, the blue glitter, the black. I'm going to show you a trick with that, and the clear. And the clear, I'm just going to spoil alert this. It's a bust, but I'm going to show you why in a minute. First up, I'm going to take the blue. Now, this is the hack you have to use. I have a makeup sponge here that I cut up into 5 pieces. So it's one of those big triangle ones. And you want to brush onto the makeup sponge first. And I get this question a lot. Why do I want to do that? Because it's going to soak in some of the clear and it's going to allow you to put a lot more glitter concentrated onto your card. If you just brush the glitter onto the card, you're going to get it, I guess you would have to go over it multiple times. And it also does depend on the nail polish that you're using because some are more chunky than others. So if it's chunkier, you're going to want to definitely put it on a makeup sponge to get more concentrated. See, there I'm showing you, I'm just painting it on and it's not showing up as concentrated glitter. So if it's chunky, you are probably going to want to use the sponge to get that chunks off and where you want it to go. So it's a matter of control as well. Now this one, I decided I'm just going to paint right on to the butterfly. And I have enough color. There's enough glitter. It's almost like this is pink with glitter in it, whereas the blue looked like clear with blue glitter, if that makes sense. And so this one gave me a lot more color saturation. All right, now let's move on to the black. I have this silicone tool here. This is not wax tip. That is not a wax tip. That's a silicone tip. And I'm going to use that to do some painting. I like that silicone tool because it's very easy to clean as well. And so, because silicones really doesn't get you can't get a lot of junk attached to them. It's kind of, you know what I'm talking about. All right. So I'm going to dip it into the black paint, nail polish, by the way, super cheap. And I'm going to paint in a little body on my butterflies, and that adds just some super fun to it. I don't know, I can use a marker and do that, and it's probably just as simple. But with the black nail polish, the pro to that, I suppose, is that you're getting a little bit of dimension, almost like a puffy paint look to it, instead of just a flat marker. So there you go. Thought that was fun with the black. Now the clear, I had lots and lots of high hopes for the clear nail polish. I thought this is going to be like a glaze. It's going to be like crystal glaze on my heart. And as I was putting it down, it did. It looked really good. I'm going to show you the wet version as soon as I'm done painting the clear on. I thought, oh yeah, this is going to be amazing. Life-changing, some might say. And then I hold it up and I can show you in the light. You're getting this beautiful, nice little glare of glaze. But however, when it dries, it does not. It dries back way too much and you do not get the same look. So you can see it here. There's really just not as much of a wow shine. Now, will it seal in things though? That's a good point that I'm just making to myself. I think it might do a great job of like sealing paint or certain products that you use that kind of flake off. So that's a thought. Now let's move on to an option to store some powders that you might have. Glitter maybe. So there's some things that you might have that come in a round container with a really wide open area. And what if you want to kind of, sprinkle them on? You're going to want something different. Now, I showed you the first little plastic container I had. I had to create holes at the top of that. It wasn't ideal. But I picked up these mini salt and pepper shakers from the Dollar Tree and thought they might work a whole lot better. The con to that, well, the con to both of them with a hole in the top is you got to keep them upright. Now, I'm trying to create a funnel here, so if you're ever in a pinch, fold a piece of paper, just like we do with embossing powder. We see all of us crafters out there doing this to pour our embossing powder back into its container. That's exactly what you can do with anything like this. So I just folded a piece of cardstock and boom, I have it going right in there. Okay, now I want to tell you, these are tie-dye powders. These are not craft branded powders. This is tie-dye you make tie-dye shirts with. As of filming this video, you get a 12 pack and each pack has 10 grams per pack of colors for $9.99. So great deal. So I'm going to show you how well they work. This is an additional hack if you haven't seen this in my past videos, additional alternative craft dupe, if you will. But you just want a little goes a long way. So you just want to just sprinkly dinkly right over that paper. Okay. And then you'll gauge once you start, spraying with water. I'm using watercolor cardstock from Kanzen and just a water bottle. And here we go. Look at how beautiful and fun that is. You can mix your own colors. You can just have a blast with it. For $10, this is a great alternative to play. And you can buy this and split it with probably 3 friends. That's how much powder you're going to get. So you're getting together for a crop, pick it up, pick up some of these little salt and pepper shakers, and you are golden. All right, let's move on to our next thing here. I can't talk about money savings videos without sharing that you do not need to spend a lot on the amazing craft ink blending brushes. You just don't, okay? They are so much cheaper when you buy them, not necessarily craft branded with a label on them. These right here are 10 of those ergonomic ones for $40, which puts them at $4 each. And here's a set for even cheaper, 6 of them for $18. And they're a little bit smaller, but now these are rainbow colors, so you can coordinate with certain colors. This one right here, this set is the one I use probably the most. You can get 12 for $12, so really great pricing on these ink blending brushes. These are new in the craft world as well, which are the smaller ink blending brushes. These are not branded. These, again, are from a store on Amazon, and you're going to save a lot of money with these also. Now, these ones actually went up in price over the last few months. When I first shared them, it was like $7.99 for 12, and now they're up to 12. So $1 each of the brushes. But again, way cheaper than you're going to find out there. These are probably my favorites. I love these. They're the little finger dauber ones, and you get a 16 piece for $12. So again, there are a lot of options out there. You don't have to spend a lot of money on ink blending brushes. These are my favorite when it comes to stenciling and ink blending. I just find like you get the best buildup and saturation of color. So I'm a fan. All right, let's talk about craft tape. I've shared this in the past as well. I use the frog tape in the low tack, which is the yellow version, and it works really, really great. So you never want to put your painter's tape on wet cardstock, though. That is a no-go. You will rip your cardstock, or even freshly colored. I would be very wary of that. But it holds nicely. You can kind of see through it as well. See how I can make that border match all the way around. And a little side note there, you can get one of those large tape dispensers that I just showed you on the left, and you can hold your large frog tape in it. All right, and right here, I'm just showing you that picture of that larger dispenser. Now, remember, everything I use will be linked below, but it will also be linked on your hacks website. So again, you fill out, put your name, your email, and it will get sent to you via email, but you can download it right there. As soon as you hit submit, you can hit that link and grab it, so you'll have it and save that link as well. You also will be added to my email list, but I don't hold anybody hostage. You can leave any time. I'd love for you to stay, though, at least a couple days, because I give you a free little gift. But you don't have to. You can unsubscribe anytime. All right, I will see you in the comments down below or in the next video. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye-bye.